Dublin. I'm a health and life coach, and I help you to live, speak, and lead with confidence. And today, the topic is make a decision and make it right. This is for those people who sometimes have something to make a decision about and you're not sure what to do. Should I do it? Should I not do it? What am I even doing? Right? And so this is for you today to kind of be like, okay, how can I come to some kind of resolution? So let's make sure you can hear me. Okay. Let me just make sure this is working. All right. Okay. So it seems like it is. Yeah, it seems like we are here. So I'm using a different microphone this morning, but let's go. So, have you ever had to make a decision and just you're not sure what to do? A lot of things go into that, right? Maybe you are afraid that it is the wrong decision, and that is often like the most common way that people, get to just be immobilized and paralyzed. What do I do? It's usually because of fear, isn't it? It's like, if I make this decision today, the ramifications and the repercussions might be this and that, and I'm not sure. But here's the thing, you can never be sure until you take a step. Either you say you do it or you don't. Now, there's a thinking that I came across just listening to one of my favorite podcasters, motivational speakers, or whatever, Eric Thomas and his team. And that quote is, make a decision and make it right. Okay? Make a decision and make it right. So it goes beyond the indecision to say to you, hey, let's just do it. Let's just see where it goes. Let's just see if we can actually make this happen. And if we can, let us go all in to make sure that something is happening. Let's go all in. Let's not have that once you have made that decision, once you said, okay, I'm going all in, made that decision, go and do what you have to do to make it right. That has served me so well in so many cases. And just thinking about the topic today, I said, let's talk about that. You might be in indecision about, do I leave? Do I stay? Maybe for a job, maybe for a relationship, maybe to move countries even. Do I leave? Do I stay? How do I know if it's right? You're never going to know until you make a decision. And if you make the decision to move, to take some kind of action, there will be repercussions. You can be sure of it. A couple things when you take that brave kind of attitude. And you guys tell me if you can hear me on Facebook. Let me just log in and make sure that my people can hear me. By the way, if you are in the To All the Girls Success Club, I'm so excited. We're back doing Saturday Spa. And you can get in there. Let me see. Hoping people can hear me. Okay. Yeah, okay, great. Yes, people can hear me, so that's good. That's always good. If you are in the club or if you want to join the club, go onto Facebook and find the To All the Girls Success Club, and you can ask to be let in. And just answer the questions and I'll let you in. And we can really talk about faith tomorrow. That's a place where I really just dial in on crushing on God, talking about God and just what He's done in our lives. How do you deepen your faith? So it's going to be like a journey of faith for the entire year, talking about things of faith. And I guess in a way, the topic of making a decision and making it right, it really is related to having faith and believing that your path will be ordered, your steps will be ordered by God, and knowing that wherever you end up, He's going to be there with you, whether you actually make the decision or not. That is the hope, I think, of having faith, right? And that makes a lot of sense. But let's get into the logistics of it. So maybe you want to do a SWOT analysis. Maybe you want to do the pros and cons of making that decision. You do all the things. And then once that happens, because you never know where you are heading, you never know whether that decision is the right one. You simply have to take a decision and make it right. Whether you decide to move or not, I just make it right. Just do it. That's it. I just do it. Right? So if that is you today, I hope that hold on, Jesus. Um, let me just lower this. Okay, so it's working, that's for sure. So one of the things I do when I have to make a decision, especially if it's not a popular one. It mightn't be popular with my family or, you know, but I feel it deep within that is the right way to go. I've consulted with God. He said, okay, I've gotten the go ahead, but it's still daunting. It's still not brave. I need bravery. I need courage to do it. I just don't tell anybody. It's on a need to know basis. And I find that it makes it easier. It makes it easier to sometimes take action in the dark, to do the things that are scary just with who needs to know and who can support you in it. I see a lot of people taking big steps, and I guess there's a place for letting everybody know what you're doing. But I would hope that by the time you're telling people about what you're doing, you've laid the groundwork, you're sure about it, and you can withstand the criticism and just sometimes bad wishes sometimes when you dare to step out. I hope by that time, if you're that kind of person, and it's usually um like I find Gen Z's and around there, they're very open, they're very social. Everybody needs to go, but people like me, a little older, we've learned to kind of hold back. We've learned to be reticent with our things, and I think there's a wisdom in that, right? So the first step, if you make a decision and just make it right, part of making it right, I begin with just tell who needs to know. Need to know basis, go on with life like it's nothing has happened. And it gives you the space to kind of figure things out without the glare of people looking on to see whether you're going to fail, whether this is right for you, whispering in your ear. No, it gives you the space to figure it out until you see a clear path, and then you can just bring in the whole of society, right? What do you think about that? Like, that is the first step for me. If I have a decision to make and it's a scary one, and it's one that I know I need to do, the one that will, bring certain benefits. But if I have to bring it out there, it's probably going to kill the dream. Because if you have a seed exposed before it's time, it's not going to grow, right? So I just do it in the dark. I just do it, like, I just make that decision with just myself and the people who need to know, my immediate family and friends, and that's it. And I just move along. It makes it easier. And you can figure things out by yourself. Make a decision and make it, instead of staying in indecision. Listen, instead of staying in indecision, just make a decision and make it right. That making it right means, okay, I've burned down all the ships. Okay, I've made this decision. I better just do everything I can in my power to make it right, make it the right decision for me, go down that certain path, explore all possibilities on the path that I have chosen. There's no turning back. And I was reading in this book that I read several times, I guess, just going along with it, Think and Grow Rich. And one of the things that he says in that book is that people who accomplish big things usually just take decisions and stick with them. They take the decision and they just stick with them, as opposed to dilly dallying, listening to every single person, veering off course because that person says that and this other person. At some point, the person you have to listen to, hey, Sunny, you, how are you? Good morning. At some point, the person you have to listen to, first and foremost, God. Secondly, yourself. Make a decision and make it right. Look neither left nor right. You know why they put the blinkers, I think, on the horses in the horse races? They say that those blinkers are there so that they don't see what's to the left or to the right of them, from what I understand. That's it. So they're simply eyes front. Eyes front, I am not coming off my perch. I'm not coming off this path until I get information to do so. I'm not going to listen. I'm just simply going for that goal, and that's it. That kind of clarity, it brings focus. And focus means that all of your energies, your creative energies, come to bear on that problem. And you're able to solve for it, and you're able to find your way to make the decision right. Another thing that happens is that sense of do or die. You know, when you've made a choice and you don't want to fail, your mind gets creative. That is why indecision is way worse than making a decision. Indecision just keeps you paralyzed, spinning top in mud like or snow. Spinning, indecision just keeps you paralyzed, just spinning top, not knowing what you're about. Just stop it and make a decision. And then you set out with all your energy and focus. That is the path that I've chosen. This is what people who win do. They make a decision and they're like, how do I make this right? Like, let's do this. It's not a matter of I'm going to see if it's right. I'm going to see if it works out. Hear me this morning. Just make a decision, yes or no. And whatever that decision, be a big enough person to just and stand by it, make it happen, right? So that's what I was thinking about. And then here's something else, right? Here's something else that I thought about. I was on the treadmill, and my treadmill has the display in laps. I've set it to display the laps as you know, as you're going along, you can see your progress, right? I had my phone on the display. So it means that the bottom part, the beginning of the lap, if you just think of it as the oval that it is, right? I didn't see as the track was progressing, perhaps in the first zero point zero 0.05 mile of that quarter mile because my phone was obstructing it. So I wasn't sure what was happening. I wasn't sure if it was, I knew I was moving because I was in, just my legs were moving, the numbers were going up, but I couldn't see the progress. When it got to about 0.10 of the mile, then I saw that it began to climb quite quickly. In my opinion, it climbed quickly because now I could see it. And I thought about a goal. I thought about how when you start something, when you make a decision, bringing it back to the topic, when you make a decision in the beginning, because it's small and it's just starting out, you don't see as much progress as when something blossoms, as when it begins to get traction. All of a sudden, you begin to say, oh my goodness, it's working. But it really is that now you're able to see the progress where you couldn't see it before because the steps were buried, the steps were taking root. And that happens in the dark, in the quiet. The steps sometimes they can't even register on your eyesight because they are those small steps. But if you don't start and if you don't take that step, you're never going to get to the point where it becomes big enough that you can now track progress. And of course, it's amazing when you can track progress. You can see how something is progressing. You get the energy, the encouragement to keep going. Isn't that true? That's how we are. But you have to trust that everything begins with little steps, insignificant steps, steps that are so small that they don't register on our estimation of what progress looks like. And many times you can get, if you make a decision about some life-changing thing, about a career, about a job, about moving countries, about a relationship, all of the major decisions that we make as adults, many times the fear comes because we expect when you take a decision, you're going to see the results one time. It doesn't happen that way. You have to put in the work. You have to keep on going until the results get big enough to be tangible. But they don't get to that tangible state before you actually take that step. Build in the dark and be happy to, hey, Curl, how are you? Good morning to you. Build in the dark and just be happy that I'm going to keep on going. Now, of course, listen, there's stuff like progress, like measuring your progress. I believe life gives you nudges, spikes of progress, to let you know that something's happening. You have to be able to measure and adjust and try to get better all the time. So if, for example, you've taken a move and you see that nothing is working, literally you're not getting the results, you've actually had part of making the decision right is to take stock of what's not working and figure out a way, maybe now getting people involved, asking the right questions, getting feedback, and acting on that feedback to make sure that you can change and tweak little things. That is how the progress, that's how you make the decision right. That's how you make the decision right. It doesn't come from just simply just keep on going. Keep no. You have to measure and adjust. And that is humbling many times, because like I've been in situations where, oh my goodness, I come with just the best of ideas, and it just gets taken down just by no traction, or maybe I'm asking trusted friends, what do you think? And then they'll give you the ideas that you never thought about and don't even seem good or pleasant to you, but you understand that they have a pulse on their generation or their people. They know what will work. And so you have to, if you want this decision that you've taken to work, you have to consider what other people think. That's it. That you can't just go on, okay, I'll just keep on plugging away, keep on. No, adjust. That's how you make a decision right. But by all means, don't stay in indecision today. Make a decision and make it right. So for me, my two things are: start in the dark, right? If it's a scary, big decision, take the decision. Like, talk to your God and make sure He's good with you. Ask for directions and timing, ask for signs, right? And if you're still scared, you don't have to tell everybody. Many times, when we have those big plans and when we make the big moves and we involve everybody, some of the people don't even want what's best for you. And you have to consider that. That's just human nature. We don't like people to move ahead. When people move ahead, you kind of, hey, Claudine, start and follow through. As I see you do it, my girl, start and follow through one day at a time. But by all means, make a decision. Stop staying in this, I don't know. Like, look around you, because you, now I'm saying to you, you probably know that already. The successful people are those who say, hey, I'm doing this. They go out and sometimes you don't even know how it's going to happen. Sometimes you don't know where you're going to end up, but you take that leap of faith. You do your research, you step out, you look around you, and you just absolutely just go with it. Sometimes you don't know where you're going to end up, but because you're determined to make the decision you've taken right, you will do what you have to get that success. So please go ahead. Make that decision and make it right today. That's when you get the most success. Stepping out. I've realized, like, we are, as a people, we are scared to step. Most people are scared to step out. I look at even the podcast, look at the episodes that most people listen to. There's an episode about stepping out in faith and like being bold. I was like, okay, a lot of people are listening to that episode because it talks about stepping out and not being afraid, and just all the things. And so you can go listen. I think it's episode 13 or 14, something like that. But please go listen. By the way, let me just show you that this week's episode of Basement Chronicles, the podcast, is out. And it's about the launch of the speaking school, which again was me just stepping out in faith and doing a thing in the world. Like, yeah, doing a thing in the world and kind of figuring out, okay, I'll figure it out as I go along, but by all means start. Okay. Also, one more thing I wanted to tell you about, one thing that I stepped out and did and is working, is the Speak with Confidence program. Let me just take the chat out there, right? So Speak with Confidence is coming up. The wait list is now open. So get on the wait list, because you get first dibs when we open for registration in April. Speak with Confidence is for executives and professionals, for people who are media facing or need to communicate better. When you can communicate very well, your credibility goes up. Oh my goodness, your credibility goes up. When that happens, doors open for you. People see you as capable. They imagine you in spaces and places that you never even knew existed, because they've heard who you are, because of that certainty, conviction, and clarity with which you speak. And that's what we teach in the Speak with Confidence program. I have made the decision. Claudine, I'm so coming to that comment. Oh my gosh, girl, just stay here. I've made the decision. Let me just take off the thing. So I've made the decision to just have one cohort of Speak with Confidence a year. Let me tell you why. I'm about yes winning and also giving value to my students. Value means taking the time to figure out what my students need. And what I realized was that after spending 5 weeks in the Speak with Confidence program, there was a need for continuous learning because muscles, if you don't work the muscles, you're going to lose them. They're going to atrophy. You're not going to like the gains of while you were working, you're going to lose them after a while. You're going to get flabby. And I'm talking in terms of being a speaker, getting opportunities to speak, sharpening your skills of evaluating. And the way that you build confidence is by being able to stand before people. That's it. If you can stand up and speak, that comes by practice. The more you practice, the stronger you get. And so I set up the speaking school as the graduate arm of the Speak with Confidence program. Get in there. Like, get on the wait list. Go to my website, lisamdublin.com/SWC, and you can just sign up for to be on the wait list for Speak with Confidence. And then we do a little interview thing. I'll tell you more about it one on one. And then there it is right there. So you can just go sign up for Speak with Confidence right now. Okay, so it takes place May 2nd to the 30th of, and I'm really, really looking forward to not just taking the people through the program, but afterwards. So for example, the current graduates of the Speak with Confidence, we've had 7 cohorts, and everybody's now enrolled in the speaking school. Every month we meet to learn, to speak, to be evaluated. Can you imagine if you spend 12 months in the program, the kind of speaker you will be? I'm not somebody who teaches speaking from, okay, this is your opening, this is your ending, these are your transitions. We do that. But my Speak with Confidence graduates, they speak with fire. What I mean is, for many of them, I start from, what do you want to say? You might not believe that that is life changing, but if you know, you know. If I start from the fire within me, if I start from the thing that is on my mind that I want to tell the world, yes, bring it on. Bring on all of the trappings and of the delivery of how to do it, because speaking is both an art and a science. But for many people, we start from and we catch it at some point during the coaching, during the trainings. That thing we zone in on. What is that thing that you want to say? Even as a professional in your workplace, you might be going after a certain career. It will become very clear to us what you're meant to be, and we push you in that direction to zone in on those skills and hone those skills of speaking, starting from the thing that you want to tell the world. So it's exciting, it's goose bumping, if that's a word, to be able to see the speakers just simply blossom and recognize their power, and to gain that confidence and gain that authenticity that I'm okay. And what I have to say is okay, because there's a little quote that says, anything that does not come from the depth of you is not going to reach the depth in other people. And I don't know about you, but I'm just tired of just listening to people just speak, right? No. Bring on the fire. Bring on the fire. And that's what we do in the Speak with Confidence program. So go sign up for the wait list and listen to the podcast. And yeah, and if you have that decision to make today, don't be afraid. Some which what way, not making a decision or making one is still making a decision. You want to be on the side of action, because you're never going to find out what could have happened if you took a step, if you stepped out boldly. People might laugh, whatever, but one of the ways that you can counter that is to start the process of making a decision and making it right by simply just doing it in the dark. Okay, let me go to what my friend Claudine said here. Claudine said, that was me. When I left my job, I jumped on headfirst into something I had no experience, and I'm growing and getting referrals. Growth is happening. Thank you. And here's Sanyu saying, when I left my job many years ago, I just started my own business and took off. I never knew my strengths until I did. You know, you guys, Claudine, Sanio, and everybody else who's listening, somebody needs to hear that today. Somebody needs to hear step out, don't be afraid. Life is going to make a way when you take that first step, right? There's something about like you guys remember ah, you guys remember the Michael Jackson video? He had a, is it Off the Wall or something? He had a video where he was stepping, and everywhere he stepped, like it lit up. Do you guys remember the floor lit up? He took a step and it lit up. He took a step and then the next tile lit up. Somebody please tell me you remember. Don't leave me here. Okay, I'm showing my age, but that's okay. We're aging like fine wine. The older we get, the better we taste. So we can afford to talk about when we were looking at the Michael Jackson videos. Okay. But I've always, now that I'm older, I look back at that video. He just took a step and the tile lit up and it was all over. And for me, it really is, it shows faith. Sometimes you have to start to push the car. Start to push the car before somebody comes along to help you. But if you're just there by the side of the road, everybody's like, okay, you've given up. Start to push the car. And what happens is, as you take one step, it is in taking the step that you actually give the seeds of development. So you're then able to see the next move. Right? That's how it goes. If you are down there not doing anything, you can't see what's over the horizon. Sometimes you literally have to build it step by step by step. And then you're going to be, oh, because of what you've built, taking the steps, then you can look over and you can see what's possible, what's the big thing. But it will not come from inertia. It will not come from being immobilized with no kind of be immobilized by fear, paralyzed by fear because you are afraid to take a decision. Whatever it is, make a decision, whether you're doing it or not, and then make that decision right. That's what I came to say this morning. So thank you so much. And I hope you sign up for the Speak with Confidence program. Is going to be lit. It's going to be life-changing. People's confidence goes up in all sorts of ways after the Speak with Confidence program. Yeah. Okay, so last comment. Okay, I used to be so nervous at every order I received. I got anxiety, made mistakes, but now I've learned from my mistakes and I'm happy. Can you see? And you would have never got to that point if you had not stepped out. Now, there's a do or die attitude to when you make a decision, something as big as that. There's a no, figure it out. When you see your back is against a wall, you get very creative, don't you? No. When you are determined to make it, I've made the decision, I'm not going down, you get creative. That is when you are at your best. If you were cushioned and everything was going well, you would have absolutely never found the ways to make it work. You are better for it. Those muscles of survival, they are taut, toned, and ready for the next challenge. So make a decision and make it right. So Sanu says, yes, doubts will come, fear will come, asking who will come, who will support you, but you have to take the leap and say, I can do this. I'm going to make it work, right? And if you're in a person of faith, you always have, I can do all things with Christ who strengthens me. He who has begun a good work in me, he's able to complete it. You have all the tools at your disposal. So hope to see you in the club tomorrow morning. It's 3:00 my time. Okay, I'm up. It's my time. I go back to bed. Okay. I go back, especially on the weekend. I go back to bed after I wake up very early. I go back and, enjoy the day. Right. But it will be 3 a.m. my time, which is 5:00 Eastern Standard Time. And it is 6:00 in the Caribbean. So you can come. Right? Claudine, I know why you laugh. Stop it. Okay, folks. So I hope to see you tomorrow in the To All the Girls Success Club. And on Sunday, I bring back my interview series. I'll be interviewing a very special person, LeVar Saul, and he is a branch manager of TD right here in Edmonton. And he's also the founder of a thriving Black community. Oh my goodness, the Think meetups has just exploded in the last couple months. And I'm going to talk to him about that growth and what, like the Black community, we just finished Black History Month, but the work continues, the community continues, and the links that we can form to forge an even stronger presence here in Edmonton, that is continuing. And he's going to talk about that on Sunday, 1 p.m. my time and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock in the Caribbean. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow in the club. Bye. Take care.